Test 1 2, test 1 2. How we looking out there? Wednesday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. You know what time it is. It's time for the Boys Club. Shout to my man, I am Joe Paul. Joe Paul, what up, fam? I see Afri_Indy. What up, what up, what up? Dollars Unlimited, where you at? Nikki Perrin, I see you. Shout to everybody who is rocking with us week over week. You know, this is where them conversations happen. There's my man Rich Dollars smoking that hookah.
I know you said wean. I gotta wean myself off, bro. This is like a process. You understand what I'm saying? Not something that can happen overnight, Sean.
I hear you, but I want to get old with you. So start weaning yourself off that.
This is true. This is true.
Yasmin, what up? Shout to Yasmin in the building. Shout to everybody who follow Rich Dollars and myself, the Boys Club. Before we get started, B Hancock, I see you. Before we get started, y'all know how we do. 7:30 Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday night. Richie Dollars, Sean Prez. We are the Boys Club. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Please, right now, tag somebody and let them know that one of the realest conversation on the gram is about to take place. Rich, you want to add something to that intro before we get started?
Nah, yo, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let the hard hitting, quitting, let it go. Let's get it.
Okay, yo, Rich, it's so much going on in the world. It is no way I can start this conversation without talking about the obvious, the elephant in the room. Robert Kelly. R. Kelly, arguably one of the most talented, biggest recording artists, biggest R&B recording artists of all time. Not just of the past 3 decades, literally of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Convicted on multiple counts of, I guess it's sex acts.
Mm-hmm.
Involving minors, today sentenced to 30 years in prison. So this man is literally on day 1 of a 30-year sentence. And I want to say he's something like 55, 56 years old. Number one, is it a justifiable sentence in your humble opinion? And number 2, does R. Kelly go away forever? Meaning not him physically, but does his music, does his legacy, does it all leave now that he's locked up and probably gonna die behind that wall?
First and foremost, I understand people who have grown up on his music. They've grown up on his music. They loved his music. It's hard to just give that away. It's hard to give up something that you grew up on. It's hard to just hate something that your mother was cleaning the house to when you was a kid growing up. I understand that. But at the same time, if you could remove those emotions, those emotions of you growing up and what that music put you in the place of and just took that for what it is, I mean, a lot of people would be dead to us, right? Like a lot of people who have done things that we cherish and put on a pedestal. A lot of people have done those type of things. So I understand either way. I'm just saying, this is no different than the Elvis Presleys of the world or the other people. Like these people did things in their lives that were disgusting and it's despicable. And if you can still listen to their music, I'm imagining you can still listen to R. Kelly's. Now, with that being said, as a girl dad, that nigga got 30 years and worked overtime to earn every single one of them motherfuckers. That nigga worked overtime Think about this for a second, Sean. That video where he peed on that girl, that was years ago. That was like what? That had to be 15, 20 years ago. We were at Bad Boy when that shit happened. No?
Absolutely, yes.
And this nigga, like continued the madness. He was doing shit previous to that, because I'm absolutely positive that that wasn't his first incident with a minor doing something despicable and disgusting to a child. That wasn't his first time. The video came out. He handled that, gave Shorty whatever the case may be, the record deal, whatever the fuck they did to get that shit under the rug. But this nigga kept on being a sexual deviant for the next 20 years. To the point where you got whole documentaries surviving R. Kelly. Like, bro, you worked hard to get that time. You, like, nigga, you went above and beyond. Like, this is not no shit where niggas is feeling sorry for you. Niggas is like, oh my God, he got wrapped up. You were a very, very sick person. And you did everything in your power to not see the motherfucking sunshine on the outside again. And you know what? Since you worked so hard, nigga, I'm happy you got everything you were looking for. You got everything you were looking for. You got everything you were asking for. And may God help you behind the motherfucking bars.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. I don't play basketball with the nigga. I don't go. Ron Stu don't have parties at the nigga house when he was at Atlantic. And this shit is not condonable, bro. You're never gonna get me to sit on here and act like that shit is anywhere other than disgusting. Disgusting. And with everything you got, you earned it. You earned it, nigga. You earned it. Hold that.
Okay. So here's my take on it. One, you a funny dude. I love the way you put it. You said he worked overtime to get every single minute of that time. Crazy. You know, Rich, and I'm gonna probably get slaughtered for this, but I'll say it anyway. I do, you know, this is a fall from grace like we never seen before. This is, you know, God, I don't know, you know, when I get to heaven one day, God willing, I'm gonna ask God, like, how do you choose the people who you endow and bless with this kind of talent on any level? Because that is one blessed man. His talent is undeniable. You can listen to an R. Kelly song today from 1992. Oh, you know, Bump and Grind, Your Body's Calling. They stand the test of time. That dude changed R&B. Let's call it what it is. So, whereas I do feel extremely sorry for his victims, I do. I do also feel sorry for him. I do. And not just because he was talented, but because he had it all. Like God bless. There's so many people out here, Rich. You know, like I know, you worked in the music industry for many years, just like I did. People would give their left nut to get a tenth of the fame, the fortune, the recognition, that he had. People have grinded for years, worked hard, done everything that they were supposed to do, and for whatever reason, it just didn't click for him. He got it, and he threw it all away. But I agree with you. He deserved it. I think when you violate minors, that crime there, and I'm not even talking about just sexually. When you violate minors, period, those are the crimes that are really unforgivable. I think, and this is just my opinion, I watched Surviving R. Kelly. A lot of those women that were on that documentary were above age when he came into contact with them. But for the ones that were minors, absolutely right. He deserved it. I feel sorry for him. I hope God just allows him to see the damage that he's done, because he has been living in denial for so many freaking years about how he has hurt people, how he has impacted people's lives in a negative way. So he got 30 years to really think it over. And that's if they don't try him out in the Midwest, because he's still got 2 other states that he's looking at, charges and trials with. So I feel sorry for the man, but it leads me to a question, Rich. You brought something up. You talked about, I think it was 03. This man beat a trial in Chicago where there was a video of him literally pissing on a minor, violating this minor, degrading this woman. And he said it wasn't me. That ain't me in the video. That is not me. And whatever he and his team did on the back end to ensure that Shorty didn't come to court, he made it. He was looking at this kind of time and he beat it. So my question for you is this indicative of all men? Is this just like, will a man, and I want to take the minors out of it, but will a man continue to violate a woman? Will he continue to play and do a woman dirty up until the worst happens? R. Kelly got locked up. He got 30 years. But will a dude continue to violate a chick up until he gets, figuratively speaking, 30 years, until she's like, I don't want nothing to do with you. I done took you back. You done beat this, you beat that. I knew about her and I took you back. You came back, you cried, you did this, that, and the third, and I accepted you. No different than R. Kelly. You got to understand, I Believe I Can Fly was written after he beat that. The whole world embraced him. All he had to do was stop violating chicks. That's it. And he was good. So my question is this just, are all men wired this way? Will we F up and F up and F up until a woman is like, I'm just done with you. Now it's life without parole. I don't want you in my life no more. Period. First
of all, one more thing on R. Kelly before we go into the relationship aspect of it. Let's not forget, this man almost lost his life. Them Muslims was gonna put R. Kelly in the dirt behind Aaliyah.
Correct.
Barry Hankerson, Butch Lewis. You know my relationship with Butch. God rest the dead. So I know that story. They were going to put that man in the ground. There's something to be said about a nigga who played with his life on that level. To reinforce what you're saying, for you to walk away from a gunfight where niggas got guns on you and getting ready to blow your brains out, and by the grace of God, somebody say, stand down, and you go back into the same motherfucking pit tomorrow and do the same thing. To reinforce your point, that is a sickness. And for that sickness, pedophilia is a sickness.
I agree.
And for that sickness, I feel sorry for him. To take it into the relationship, I think that all people do as much as they can get away with doing. And unless you're caught and you actually feel the loss, then you think you're invincible. You start thinking, even if you, okay, so you almost, all right, I'll give you, let's go analogies. You driving down the street, you cheating on your girl. You got a red light. Your girlfriends pull up next to you. You scared to death. While in that seat, you sitting there and you looking at the red light, you looking, hoping that these motherfuckers don't look left and see you with shorty. They don't. You like, oh my God, I'm never doing this again. Until you do it again. Until you do it again. It might take a week, it might take a few days, but shorty gonna call you and say, yo, what's up? I'm trying to see you, let's go hang out. And you're gonna be like, damn, I'm going. Because until you actually feel getting caught, that loss, then you're gonna continue. You start to get lax. You start to feel invincible. You start to be like, all right, I'm gonna just be more careful this time. I'm gonna do it differently this time. But the reality is, you're doing the same. It's the same act. It's the same act. People are gonna do that in all aspects of life, not just the relationship. The relationship part of it is just people do as much as you allow them to do. So now you have the opportunity to get caught, and then the woman doesn't do what she's supposed to do. And now you really have lost respect for her, because you know that what you did was a crime and it was worthy of conviction, and she caught you dead to right. There is no trial. She should just put your ass in jail. If she doesn't, you're looking at the judge as weak. And you'll never respect him. And you'll do the same shit again. And that's the way relationships work. Kitchen, cooking, cleaning, cheating, sex, whatever the case may be. If you feel like you can do the bare minimum and then still skate by, you're going to do the bare minimum. If you can feel like you can cheat, you're going to cheat. If you can feel like you don't need to clean the house, you ain't going to clean the house. It's just it's about who you are as a person and what the other person will allow you to do and get away with, so that you feel like you're invincible in this relationship. Oh, I cheated on shorty. She caught me. She took me back. All it took was two bouquets of flowers in a week at mom's house. And by the middle of the second week, she was ready for me to come home. She missed me. You're never gonna respect that woman again, and women need to understand that. Women need to understand that, and I'm talking as a man. If you are not convicted of your crime, you will not respect that crime. You will do that shit again. You will do that shit again. Just like if your kids do something and you don't chastise them, you don't punish them, they will do that shit again, and it's going to get worse because it only leads to bigger and better. It only leads to bigger and better. Today I took a shorty to dinner. Tomorrow I'm getting the hotel rooms. Now I'm fucking her in your bed. Like, it just gets bigger and bigger. So that's how I feel about that. Women need to wise up, be strong, and stand by your convictions. And even if you love a nigga, you can't allow him to do you dirty, because he will always do you dirty and he will not respect you.
I got to ask you this question before I give my thoughts on it. Mm-hmm. And I hear you loud and clear. Is there ever a time when a dude get caught that you can believe his words? I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Let me back home. I miss my family. Only thing I want is you. She didn't mean nothing. I just hit it. But that's all it was. It was sex. It was nothing more. You're the one I love. Is there ever a time, because there's somebody listening right now, right this second, who is either in the midst of what we are discussing, or they just came out of what we're discussing and they took that dude back. And they looking at him and they're unsure right now. And they're saying, damn, did I make a mistake? Did I just play myself? I can't trust this nigga. But I love him. I want this to work. But I don't know if I could trust him. So is there ever a time when Richie D feels as though, yo, homeboy's words is genuine? Give him a shot.
I'm never going to tell anybody to forego their happiness. I guess the saying goes, don't cut off your nose to spite your face. I'm never going to tell a woman not to take a man back. I'm never going to tell a woman what to do with her heart in her relationship. But what I will say is, you should never take words at face value. I didn't mean nothing to me. I just met her at the club. I smashed. It was nothing. I don't even fuck with her. I don't love her. I love you. I miss my family. If you go to jail, we're going to use this whole jail analogy, I guess, for the rest of this conversation. If you go to jail, there will be a time when you get released. There will be a time when you get probation. There will be a time when you get parole. Those things happen in life. You have paid your debt to society. Based on what your conviction was for is what you paid your debt for. So it's up to the woman to determine if you have done the necessary rehabilitation to be able to come back to the home. It's up to her. So I'm never going to tell anybody, because some judges are lenient. Some judges are throwing the book at you. It's just a matter of how lucky you are and who you got. Same in relationships. Just a matter of how lucky you are and who you got. Some women is like, yo, I'm not playing that game ever. Nigga, you cheat on me, it's over. I'm never looking back. Some women are like that. Some women have low self-esteem, insecurities. They allow for the beating. They allow for the domestic. They allow for the cheating. They allow for the lying. They allow for all those things. It's just about who you got. All I'm saying from a rule of thumb, that if you do decide that life is better with this person and you don't want to be without that person, make sure you penalize that person, put that person in timeout, make sure that he understands the repercussions of his actions. That's where the respect comes from. You don't miss nothing if you really don't think you're losing it. Like, I know niggas that get caught cheating or get caught fucking off or whatever they do, and they break up with their girl and they look at that shit as a vacation because they know she gonna call back in 2 weeks. So you like, yo, nigga, what's good? Shorty pot, she pissed at me, nigga. We in these streets. She can't say shit. Whatever I do for the next 2 weeks, and niggas will prolong this shit because it's party time. Women can't subject themselves, and I'm giving away the secrets, bro. But we do this every week, so I guess it is what it is. Women can't subject themselves to that because you won't be respected, and if you want respect, you got to deserve respect. And if you aren't worthy of the respect, then fuck it. Then you just got to be who you are. Just be like, yo, fuck it, nigga. I'm a pushover, and this is what it is. And there are some women that are like that. There are some women that allow a nigga to put hands on them. There are some women that allow all the things that we can talk about that are things that are worth being penalized for. And if you accept that behavior, then you're just encouraging that behavior. If you accept it, you're encouraging it. And you're encouraging it because it's going without worry. You can't tell a nigga don't steal money if he gonna steal money and be okay with it. If you okay with stealing money out your purse and you mad, don't stop taking money out my purse. Yeah, all right, I'll be back in that motherfucker tomorrow. There's got to be consequences, and women have to stand up for themselves, and they have to acknowledge what the crime is. Think about what the punishment for the crime is. Make sure your punishment fits the crime. Like, I'm not saying break up with a nigga because you saw a DM and cut a nigga off because you seen a DM. Like, don't be silly, don't be stupid. But at the same time, stand on your fucking moral high ground. Stand on your soapbox and say, I'm not allowing motherfucker to do me dirty. I'm not allowing you to get away with this bullshit. If you do it, and I love you to death, but nigga, you gotta sweat this one out. If you're not making me sweat it out, then there's nothing you can tell me. If I'm calling, showing up like, yo, man, shorty mad at me, nigga, it's time to hit the club. She'll be back in a week and a half, 2 bouquets and some fucking champagne and chocolate strawberries later, I'm good. If that's how I'm thinking about you, this relationship is never gonna work, and this is gonna be the most disrespectful shit you ever subjected yourself to. Because I'm going to push the fucking envelope. Believe it.
Okay. Rich, you're a funny dude. I'm going to start there. But, ladies, I hope y'all was listening, because this nigga was on the pulpit right there. Like, Rich was preaching. Like, real talk. Like, Rich stood up on that pulpit, and he was so I hope y'all was listening. There's only one part of that I disagree with, Rich. You said a woman get what she deserves. I don't agree with that. There's a lot of women that deserve better. They deserve more than what they have. They deserve a man that is going to love them. They deserve a man that they can actually trust. They deserve a man who builds their self-esteem instead of tearing it down. But what you should have said, they get what they demand, or you will get what you demand. That if you demand respect, see, here's the deal, right? And we're going to take it back to the penal system, to the courts and jail and all of that, because it's applicable here. There are laws in place for a reason. Now, you could break them, but you know the penalty. You know, I am looking at 1 to 3, 3 to 5. I'm looking at 10 to 20. You know it. You can still go out there and break the laws, but if you're caught, you're looking at predetermined penalties that are in place. And they're not changing for you. They're not changing for me. They're not changing for R. Kelly. You break the law, that's what it is. The problem with women, it ain't that they get what they deserve. They just don't believe that they deserve better. They are not willing to roll the dice and say, there is somebody who is better and will treat me better out there. So they keep coming back to this dude. So to get back to the original conversation, me and you, we speak about this week over week. Listen, we're two men telling you this. This say, I got no dog in this fight. If I'm telling you this, it is for a reason. So long, you gotta be willing to set your boundaries. This is my expectation. This is what I demand. And if you cross this line, you are out of here. You're gone. Period. And even if you want to take this man back, There's a reason why when people commit crimes and they go and the judge let them off lenient, they come right back home and they do it again. They commit a crime, they beat it, they come back home. What do? They do it again. That's human nature. That's not even just a man, that's just human nature. So I don't care even if you believe that your man will never do it again. He has convinced you. This man has cried a river. He has done everything under the sun, sent flowers, showed up at your mama's house, talked to her, convinced your sister that whoever he was with was a one and done. It didn't matter. That girl ain't mean nothing to me. If you don't sentence him, for lack of a better way to put it, even if he's telling the truth, even if he, because here's the deal, Rich. Niggas believe that they telling the truth. A nigga don't come back home and yo, I'm just gassing you up. I'm just telling you this. He actually believe it. But when he back in the door, word, she let me back. Damn, I'ma just do it better next time. I know why I got caught. Next time, I'ma just do it a little bit better because he don't value. You're not valued. You didn't value yourself enough. You just had to have him. You screamed, you yelled, you threatened, you did all that, you cursed. You took him back. No penalty, nothing. He don't even have to sit on the bench for a little while. The nigga back in the bed, he hitting it right. He know exactly how you like it. He know all your spots, all of that, and he put it on you. In your heart, you might not believe him, but he just gave it to you the way no other man did or has, and you take him back. And in his heart, he might have felt that moment. This is true love. She the one. I'd never do that again. But because there was no penalty, because you didn't give him a second to miss what it was that he had, you didn't give him a second to miss that family. You didn't give him a second on timeout. Like, you getting up out of this house. We can go to court. You can see the kids when the court says see the kid. You did not put a penalty on this man. I can almost guarantee you. I'm not going to say it's 100 out of 100. There might be a 10% chance that a dude did it, he messed up, and he really, really, really is remorseful. But more times than not, if you don't sentence this dude, if he don't have to pay a penalty, I can almost guarantee, even if he believes that he'll never do it again. Let a fat butt walk by him. Let a chick hit him in the DM. Let the girl he work with smile at him one too many times. Oh, we meeting just having drinks after work, my co-worker. Let all, it's going to happen again. It is. And it's almost not even his fault.
There's so much.
This is the part that y'all are gonna be pissed with me about. Before I throw it back to you, it's not his fault. It's your fault. It is. You didn't value yourself. You didn't respect yourself. You did not look in the mirror and say, I am worthy of more. So you took back this man with no penalty, just a few tears, just a little bit of yelling, a little bit of arguing, because you didn't feel worthy enough that, number one, there's somebody better for me out there who's going to treat me the way I need to be treated. But if I ever take him back, he need to know I will not allow myself to be treated any other way than a respectable woman the way I should be treated. And that's where women jam themselves up. But go ahead, Rich.
Nah, yo, listen. You ain't say nothing wrong, and if a motherfucker don't agree with you, then they got their own problem. Cause you ain't say nothing but the gospel. And if they don't agree with you, if somebody's like, oh, that's wrong, Sean. Nah, he not wrong, you wrong. Cause we telling you how we think. You can't tell me how we think. You know what I'm saying? Temptation is out there. It's out there every single day, at every freaking red light, at every subway stop, at every bus stop, at every street corner. It's out there. You have to put yourself in the position, like, I hate using dogs and shit as an analogy, but if your dog ain't trained, he is going to act the fuck up on them streets. He's gonna shit where he wants to. He's gonna fucking snap at somebody. He's going to embarrass you out in them streets.
Yep.
You have to, and this goes for men too, because in 2022, women, you motherfuckers are disrespectful too.
Freaking respectful.
Facts. So if you got to train your man, and that doesn't mean that every house trains their man or woman the same way. So different rules for different houses, depending on how lenient or strict you are with yours. But if he don't have no discipline and you let this dog run wild, or this female dog or male dog run wild, they are going to embarrass you when they get around people. And you bring them to the dog park and your dog is the worst dog in the whole park. You're going to be looking up like, God damn. He going to fuck around and bite somebody. If you don't beat his ass, and I ain't talking about like Caesar from Black Ink, I'm talking about regular discipline. You got to do it. It's got to happen. And if y'all don't think that that's real, try it. Try just being willy-nilly and letting niggas do what they want to do to you. It just shows a lack of respect for yourself, your own insecurities, your own fear of being alone, and the fact that you put this man higher than you put your own self.
There you go, Rich. There you go.
If you do those things, you will always finish second. You will never be where you want to be relationship-wise, because niggas will take advantage of you from the rooter to the tutor, beginning to the end.
Yo, you want to know what's crazy? Here's the deal. We speak about this. Here's, like, ladies, that is almost the only thing you can do to keep your man, to keep your man in line, is know your value, know your worth, and demand the respect in that relationship. Because a man has to mature to a place to where he just don't, because there's almost nothing you can do. Outside of that, a man has to mature to a place where he can recognize, damn, honey look good. But you know what? She ain't worth me giving up what I got at home.
That's what this guy
Honey is like real talk. Like that's almost the only thing y'all can do, because a man has to get to a point, and it's maturity. It's not age, it's maturity, because you got some 50-something-year-olds that are just as immature as a 16-year-old. But until that man gets to a point where he can recognize it ain't no woman, it ain't no girl, it ain't no ass, it ain't nothing out there worth me jeopardizing what I got at home. The only defense you got, I promise you this, is to set your boundaries. To Rich's point, if you got a dog that you ain't training, that you ain't in, like that dog is gonna crap all over the house, is gonna pee, is gonna do it, he's just gonna run wild and be a dog. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but Rich, you can jump in and tell me if I'm wrong here. But it's nothing more attractive to a dude than new ass. It's just that simple. So when a dude be telling you she ain't mean nothing, he's serious. He really, but new, it's nothing more attractive to a dude. Yo, word, I can hit that, like some new ass, like new ass is like, it's like Christmas. It's like, I mean, most women, y'all like chocolate. It's like getting a slice of your favorite chocolate cake. Like this is chocolate straight from Willy Wonka's factory. A dude, I don't know how to put it, but dudes, it ain't the woman per se, it's new ass. And until he get to that point, that I'm old enough, wise enough, mature enough to recognize that is new ass, and that slice of chocolate cake will be damn good. But I gotta turn it down because it got 1,000 calories, and I've been in the gym working, and that's gonna put all the weight back on me that I just lost. Until he gets to that point where he's not willing to jeopardize and to ruin what he got, what he worked hard for, the only line of defense that y'all even got is setting your boundaries, knowing your worth, and demanding that you be treated a certain way, period. Forget it, Rich.
Nah, you said it. You said a mouthful. And this, he got to value what he got more than that new piece of ass. He got to, like you say, he got to look at that ass and be able to turn it down. And if he ain't able to turn it down on his own, he got to understand the repercussions and then say, it ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it.
If I can't turn it down on my own because it's just my maturity level and who I am, I got to look at it and say, it ain't going to be worth that headache that it's about to bring me. You know what? Let me get the fuck out of here before I get weak. But I respect home enough to say, okay, it's time for me to go home. It's time for me to leave the club because I'm had a couple more drinks than I should have, and I'm feeling weak. And I don't need that in my life. He got to know that. If he knows that, you have 100% better opportunity at keeping that nigga in line than if he just thinking, shit, I'm gonna try my luck, nigga. Can't.
And here's the deal. Don't think it won't happen to you.
Oh,
you could be with a 5 foot tall, a 5 foot 0 inch, $25,000 a year nigga who got a receding hairline, won't cut the hair off, but his hairline is back here. The dude can look nuts. And you think, I got a fair chance with this one. No, you don't. No, you don't, because if somebody look at that dude and give the vibe, yo, you all you got to do is talk. Like you can hit this. He's going for it. Unless he's mature enough to say, I love what I got at home. And I know if I do this, there are penalties and I'm going to lose her. And it's no way that I'm going to lose what I got for a one and done. So do not think, because some of y'all are sitting here, oh, me and my man been together for 100 years. It can happen to you. Some of y'all think, don't nobody else want this nigga. Oh, it can happen to you. Some of y'all are sitting there right now on your high horse talking about, I've been with my man since we were teenagers. All he sees is me. It can happen to you. I don't care. if this man is 100 pounds, 5'0", the ugliest dude on the planet, let somebody smile at this dude besides you. And if you don't believe me, what is Maury Povich still on? Is okay? You be seeing them chicks on there fighting for them dudes. Dudes be having 2 teeth in their mouth. Dudes be looking nuts. And I'm like, how in the world do he got 2 chicks fighting over him? How is this even possible? He lucky to have 1.
Facts.
Because homegirl looked at him and let him know, all you got to do is talk to me and you got it. And he couldn't resist new ass, period. So it can happen to you.
It can happen to you.
That's the moral of the story. But check it. Let's move this conversation on, Rich. Again, a lot happening out there this week. There was a viral clip. You sent it to me. And I don't like to talk to you about these things offline because I like your honest opinion when we have these conversations. A woman, in her words, exposed her ex. He jump out the car, come to the crib. He bring a bag that clearly had 1 Happy Meal in it. And she's like, yo, this dude is bringing this little bit of McDonald's for his kid, knowing I got 3 other kids. I got 3 other kids. And she put him on blast talking about, don't come here with just enough food for your child, your biological child, knowing I got 4 kids in total. So I gotta ask you, was that man out of line? Was the woman out of line? Was if you break up with if you get with a woman who have children, you have a child with her, are you obligated once you break up to do for the rest of the kids the way you do for your kids?
So when you were little, teacher said, if you don't have enough for everybody, don't bring candy to the classroom. I believe that. There's ways to not do that. There's ways to not do that. You don't bring food to the house. Like, number one, first of all, let's be clear about this before I go into how I feel. I don't owe your other kids anything. I have a kid here. I'm responsible for my kid here. If my son or daughter call me up, text me, Daddy, I'm hungry, where you at? And I want to bring something by the house, I don't got to call you. I don't got to think about you. They get McDonald's, and the rest of the kids get whatever you got at your house for your children. It just so happens that in this moment, my kid got a Happy Meal. Now, I'm not tolerating you yelling at me. I'm not tolerating you spazzing on me because I don't want to spend my hard-earned money on your other children. We're not together no more, so it's not like I'm trying to set a moral high ground that I'm inheriting your kids. If we're not together anymore, then I'm responsible for mine. If we're together, then I'm responsible for the whole house. I take that on. But if we're not together and my son texts me and my daughter texts me like, Daddy, where you at? I'm hungry. Oh, say less. I'm around the corner. I'll be by in a minute. And I'm bringing you Happy Meal. Now, with that being said, me knowing that there's other children in the house, I'm calling my kid. Yo, come outside. I'm about to come get you. Because I'm trying to alleviate the drama. I don't want you going in the house, eating food. The other kids in the house are mad at you. Your mom's is spazzing out. Now she gonna treat you like Cinderella for the rest of the night. You know what I'm saying? Because the other kids are mad at you. It just creates conflict. So you know what? Yo, baby mama, I'm on my way around the corner. I'm around the corner. I'm about to come get little Bobby or little Jenny or whatever, and we're gonna go out right quick. Take you, get something to eat. You eat your food. You eat your food in the car on the way back. You eat your food in the restaurant. You go back home and you act like nothing happened. Because I don't want the conflict. There's a huge, and people understand what I'm saying. There's a huge difference between not wanting the conflict and feeling an obligation to do something for other people's children that aren't yours. There's the good person in you that says, let's just do this clean. Let's try to not create dissension and conflict. I'm gonna call her up and I'm gonna say, come outside and we're gonna ride around the corner and I'm gonna feed you and you're gonna go back home and you're gonna, whatever the case may be. I'm with that. But I don't owe you or all your other children anything as it pertains to how I treat mine. Clothes, sneakers, food, trips to King's Dominion, water park, whatever the case may be. I am responsible for mine. And if we aren't together, you are responsible for yours. Where are them other niggas? Where are they? Because as far as I'm concerned, there should be 5 niggas standing outside with McDonald's. Not just me. So why are you spazzing on me for not bringing food to your other kids? Bitch, you should be on the phone spazzing at them niggas for not bringing food to their children, and why I'm the good father who made sure that my kid wasn't hungry. Now, how about that? How about my kid is hungry, those crumb snatchers are starving, and you worried about me? Bitch, the real anger is just misplaced right now. Because you need to be placing that anger on the nigga who not feeding their children. Because mine is full. He's sitting there with a Happy Meal, Big Mac, all that chicken nuggets and some more shit. Mine full. I'm doing my job. Now why the rest of them niggas hungry? Figure that out. And that's how I feel about it. But like I say, I preface this all by saying, as the bigger picture, as the bigger man, hey Bobby, come outside. Daddy's outside. Come outside real quick. We're gonna ride around the corner. Man, eat your food, man. Eat your food. Because if I find out one of these niggas reached in your bag and took your nuggets or your fries, or, then that's a whole nother problem. So just eat your food. We're gonna go back home, no conflict. We're gonna keep it real simple and keep it moving. But I'd be damned if a motherfucker call herself exposing me with a fucking camera phone on the front porch talking about I'm not feeding the rest of her children. Oh, you lost your mind.
Okay. When you sent this to me, I was, my emotions kicked in quick. And then I had to pull back and look at this for what it was, right? This woman actually said, I'm going to expose him. Before that man got out the car, her exact words was, he pulling up with food, and I bet you he only got enough food for his kid. I got 3 other kids, and I'm about to expose him. So let's start there. What you really did was expose yourself. You didn't expose him. You didn't. You exposed the fact that he takes care of his kid. You exposed the fact that he loves his child. You exposed the fact that even though y'all are not together as a couple, he didn't divorce his child. That's what you exposed. But you also exposed a problem that I have with people just in general. That entitled spirit, man, you can't have it. You are not entitled to that man taking care of children that are not his. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know, and I actually understand. I truly do. As a man, I understand the predicament that she's in. And had she handled it differently, I would very much be on her side. But you can't have an entitled spirit thinking that this man is supposed to take care of all of the other children because you had children with other men, and now that he is trying to do the right thing by his child, he's in the wrong? Nah, you out of line. But this is a situation that if you are listening and you have children, this is real. Because if you break up with somebody, it is a possibility that you can run into this situation. She could have just as easily pulled that man to the side. And I don't know that she didn't do this in the past. Pulled that man to the side and said, look, there's other kids in this house. Kids love McDonald's. You know that. A kid loves that M, that golden M, those golden arches. They love that. So while your little crumb snatcher is sitting in that corner eating, and he don't want to share with them other, just imagine how it makes my other children feel.
I got one for you.
So just hear me out. Do me a favor, and I respect that you want to take care of your kid, but do me a favor. Call and take your kid out. And ask your kid to don't tell the other kids where they went. We don't know, quite honestly, if that man even had enough money to bring. McDonald's ain't as cheap as it used to be. Like, listen, I mean, I get it, it's fast food, but you can go to McDonald's and you're spending real money there. You might as well go to a regular restaurant these days.
4 kids, McDonald's, you're spending $30, $40.
$30, $40, for real. She don't even know. I didn't have it. I truly didn't have it. I was just trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to not just do the right thing by my kid, but I'm trying to do the right thing by you. To show you, me and you ain't together, but that don't change the fact that I want to be a father to my child. What we shared together, I'm still in it with you. So yes, as a man, maybe he should have handled it differently. But I don't think that entitled spirit, that entitlement that she had, there's no place for that because those are your kids and they got their own fathers. And if you are not taking that anger out on them other dudes, you're in the wrong. And you thought you exposed him, but you really exposed yourself. But go ahead.
You really you expose yourself. You said the magic words, bro. I say this every week, man. And excuse me, y'all niggas get mad at me. And that entitled spirit. It's a new thing amongst these, I don't know, what do they call it, Gen Z or whatever. That entitlement shit is insane. A nigga don't owe you nothing. He don't owe you nothing. Now, could he have played it differently? Yes. Could you have called and say, yo, I know you, but I got the $30. Just get the kids this. Just get the other kids this. You take care of yours. I got the money. You could just order it for me and bring it, whatever the case may be. But my little nigga gonna be in the house. And what made me laugh was you said McDonald's, and I immediately thought Eddie Murphy, and then like old comedy shit. I got McDonald's. You can't have that. You can't. I was like, yeah. In my mind, I'm looking at my son in the corner right now, eating McDonald's, shaking his ass. And these other little hungry motherfuckers.
But you know, them kids will do that. He will literally be there and pull out a fry and be chewing on the fry, knowing he got 100 more in that bag, and be like, I got McDonald's.
Yo, I had to literally get on Taylor about that. Taylor's become a sneakerhead. So obviously his mother's remarried. He's got 3 kids. The dude had a daughter before, and they had 2 kids together. And then there's Taylor. So Taylor's a sneakerhead. So he comes home and he comes to see me. He gets the Jordans. He's like, yo, Dad, we gotta go get the new J's. We gotta get the J's. Don't go home and rub your sisters and brothers' faces in it about what they don't have and what you do have. That's not cool. But I'm not going to deprive you of what I can afford for you to have, because it's my responsibility to make anybody. And I don't know what they wear. They might all wear Jordans. I don't know. But I don't care. You understand? It's not my job to deprive my son of what he can have because I can afford it, because I want to make the rest of the house feel okay or comfortable. That's not my place. My place is to provide for my son the best way I can provide for my son. And if his mother ever approached me on that, then we would have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not my job to dumb down my relationship or what I'm doing for my child because the rest of your baby daddies or whatever the case may be ain't on that same place. So that's just a bigger on the macro. That's the bigger part of this whole thing. But I'm not supposed to have my kids sitting in here not eating McDonald's because the rest of your kids can't have McDonald's. I can't do that. As a father, I would be dumbing down my relationship. I would be dumbing it down. So you got to figure that out as a mother. As a mother, you got to figure out how everybody feels equal footing and ain't nobody looking like Cinderella in the house with the evil stepsisters and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's where I stand on it.
Okay, so before I get into this next question topic, we're gonna go to callers right after this. So if you have a question for Rich and myself, please hit that request button. Y'all know how we do. You must have proper lighting. You must look directly into the camera. You must be in a place where you have great cellular service or great Wi-Fi, and you must have a question. So I'm gonna throw this out there, Rich, for anybody who's looking to get in the conversation. After we get through with this next topic, we'll bring people into the conversation. If nobody wants to join, we'll continue going on with our conversation.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go into something that's shorter, just so we can let people in the conversation if people want to get in the conversation. BET Awards just passed this week, Sunday. Your guy, my guy, Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs, Love.
Let me pay super duper attention to you so I don't misconstrue the words that are coming out of your mouth and go on no motherfucking tirade. All right, I'm listening. You got my attention.
Love got the Lifetime Achievement. Well deserved. Congratulations, Puff. You deserve it. You really do. What?
Your things sound distant.
Really? Test 1 2, test 1 2. I didn't do nothing different still. No good?
I can hear you. It just sounds like your microphone went out.
I have no clue.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Hopefully it gets better. But Puff gave an amazing performance. Chronicled his life, well deserved, like I said. He thanks everybody under the sun. Everybody under the sun he thanks. Then Kim Porter, then Cassie, and there was a woman in the crowd holding a Go Poppy sign, the new love of his life. And he didn't thank her. Young Miami. Internet went crazy. Young Miami blew it off, and it wasn't that serious to her. So I gotta ask, at what point, because Puff has been with Cassie for 11 years before they broke up. Puff was with Kim since we was kids. Like, he was at Uptown Records at that point. He might have been 20, 21 years old. Misa, his baby mother, all the women in his life. Did he, like, at what point do you have to acknowledge the new woman in your life?
Are you on Bluetooth speaker?
No.
They're asking if your frequency changed, they're saying. I thought it was just me.
No. I don't even know how to make it better.
Okay, all right.
I can try putting on my Bluetooth, see if that helps.
Yeah, try it. Say something.
Test 1, 2, test. Any better?
Same. All right. We can hear you. We can hear you. It just sounds like you're distant.
Got you. Damn it, I hate that. I really don't even know how to make it better. Because I didn't do nothing different. So at what point in a relationship are you obligated to acknowledge your new girl? Like, Young Miami, she shrugged it off. It wasn't that serious to her. It was more serious to everybody else. But it made me really think beyond them. Did he even owe her a thank you? Did he owe her an acknowledgement? She wasn't around for them days.
You ready?
Yeah.
You get a Lifetime Achievement Award. That encompasses your life. That's the past, that's the present, that's the future. As a show of respect, you got to acknowledge the woman that's in your life at this moment. Even if she wasn't around for essentially what you are being awarded for are things that have happened in your past. Even if she wasn't around for those things, so she wasn't with you for the dark times or whatever the case may be. I remember the whole speech, but you got to acknowledge who's in your corner right now, just by virtue of respect. Yo, Kim, I love you, baby. I miss you. Misa, you gave me beautiful young boy with the bad boy logo is Justin. People don't know Justin is actually the baby bad boy. So all these different things, you can go through that whole thing. But that leads me up to today. And I'm here with y'all, and Go Poppy is right there in the audience. And I need to acknowledge her because she brings me my joy and my light today. Today. I'm not gonna act like she was a part of what them records or the Raising in the Sun or any of the other things that he was supposed honored for. I'm not acting like she was part of any of that, but she's here in your presence today. You have to acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge that. Now, she blew it off because what is understood doesn't have to be spoken, right? Is that how it goes? I got the ring. But for me, the fact that you're shouting out what you got that makes you worthy, what you're doing, where you're at, where you've been, what your last 24 hours entailed, lets me know that you felt the way about it. Because you felt the need to defend your position. And if Puff showed respect for her in that moment, you would never make your new girl have to defend her new position in your life. You would never acknowledge people that have come and gone out of your life, past relationships, regardless of where they are, who they were, or what they were to you in that moment, and not acknowledge the person that's by your side right now, and put that woman in a position where she has to defend her position. That's not right. So as much as we have our conversations about this, old boy should have shouted her out, man. And it would have took all the 2 seconds, bro. It would have been
Okay.
2 seconds. Thank you, baby. Thank you for being here. Look down into the audience. She's your number one fan, nigga. Go Poppy. Like, come on. Like, into my baby down there holding me down. All is well. What did that take me? 4 seconds to do that?
Okay, I asked you this. Am I any better, or do I still sound disgusting?
You're much better now.
Okay, beautiful. I asked you this question, and before I even give my thoughts, I want to bring some. This week, it was a couple of clips that came out. One was with Rick Ross, and he was on camera with some girl, I guess is his girl, and she literally asked him on camera, "What are we? Like, who am I to you?" She asked him twice. Then there was another clip with 50 Cent, and his girl asked him on camera, who are we? Like, who am I? What are we doing here? So a lot of these women who are dating high profile men, they solidifying their position, and they're trying to do it publicly so everybody know. Which made me really think about this, and I asked you, and I wanted to get it away from Puff, like, at what point are you even obligated to acknowledge the woman that you with? At what point? Because in Rick Ross' case, he swerved her. He hit her with the, "Yo, we not gonna put our business in the street." 50 did the same thing. And Puff didn't acknowledge his chick. And 2 weeks before that, when he was on the Carisha Please, he kind of made it, huh?
They go together.
They go to, yeah, like, so are any of these people, like, so I'm gonna just talk about, number one, he should have acknowledged her. Now, fair enough. She wasn't there for all of the many years. Like, the girl is 28, for God's sakes. When she was born, Puff Daddy was releasing Ready to Die. Like, let's just call it what it is. Like literally, this man had put out hits with Jodeci and Mary J. Blige. Craig Mack had already blew up when she was conceived. The night that her dad bust, he probably just came from the club listening to Flavor in Your Ear, right? So we get it. But taking it away from them, I gotta wonder, like, is there a time like because it's that you gotta acknowledge the woman you with. She's sitting around like, "Yo, what are we doing? You don't post me on social media. You don't acknowledge me. Like I'm good to be with you behind closed doors, but when the phone ring, you telling me to be quiet. You don't want nobody to know I'm here." Like, at what point is a person obligated to acknowledge publicly the person he with?
You ready for this?
Yes, I am, Rich.
Every week, we talk about transactional relationships. If you are here and you are reaping the benefits of being here, and that's why you're here, I don't have to acknowledge you at all, because you took your acknowledgement in bags, trips, liquor, hookah, and all of that. If you're my real girl and you want acknowledgement, this relationship has to be considered what it is for both of us. I can't feel like I'm doing this for you. You're getting the attention. You hanging out with me. I ain't got to claim you. The world will draw their own conclusions by the virtue of your proximity to me and how much we together or we together. The reality is this. You can't have it both ways. Because as a man, you oftentimes feel like what I'm doing for you is more important. And if I'm going to take that course of action and what I'm doing for you is more important than what we are, then I don't feel it, then I don't need to, it's by proxy or by demand. It's by proxy or by demand. Don't let that go over your head. If I'm doing it by demand, I don't owe you nothing. If I'm doing it by proxy, I owe you everything. I owe you everything. That's the reality of this. And if I'm taking you out and buying you bags and you taking pictures of food and all that shit and you living the good life, then that's why I feel like you're here. Then that's what you get. You get the good life. But you don't, until I'm ready to say, I claim you. Because I could be giving 50 girls the good life. And as long as that is acceptable in this relationship, then I ain't claiming none of y'all until I'm ready to only give one of you the good life. But as long as the good life is more important than being claimed, then you reap what you sow. You made your bed, you lay in it. You want the diamonds and the Cartier and all the fancy shit that goes along with dating a nigga who got $1 million or more, and you want all the trips and everything and private jets, and you want the pictures and the Instagram thing, I can provide you that. You provide me with what I want for what I give, and we move forward. Now you're doing the most when you start asking me to claim you and do things like that when that's not what this relationship is built on. Because what are we really? What are we really? I could easily say what we are is I'm a rich dude and you're a prostitute. I give you things that you provide a service for, and that's what prostitution is by definition. Now, I know a lot of people are probably mad at me and I can't see the comments, but by definition, that's what it is. If you want the relationship, then the relationship is something much, 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 much different. It's a reciprocal thing. It's love, affection, attention. It's all the things that go along that exclude the monetary aspect of it. But if our relationship is built on what I'm doing for you, then I don't owe you to claim you out in these streets. I don't owe you that. This is what they call it. This is our situation, I guess. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, so let me ask you: if a woman is dating a dude who make $45,000 a year, he ain't buying her Birkin bags. He ain't buying her. Matter of fact, he ain't buying her nothing. He buying her what he can afford. He taking her to Applebee's. He taking her to Olive Garden. And she going. And she getting the all-you-can-eat, the never-ending, what is that, the breadsticks or whatever they got at Olive Garden? So she with him for the right reasons. Right. This is not a transactional situation. I'm with you. I could be with somebody else. I know you make $45,000 a year. You got your mattress on the floor. I put up with that. You smashing me with no box spring, just a mattress. I put up with all that. But what are we doing here? No. At what point is he obligated to acknowledge her?
If she's in it, if they're in it for the right reason, he made 45 grand a year and taking you to fucking Olive Garden, bitch. If you're not getting claimed, you the motherfucking fool. Because that means that you genuinely like this dude. My thing is not about if you genuinely like somebody and there's a relationship there. I don't care if you got $100 million or you got $50. You're supposed to claim that person if it's a genuine relationship.
I said at what point?
When you determine it's a genuine relationship. At whatever point that y'all sit down and y'all decide, we go together. at that time, you got to start claiming her. You can't keep her in the closet that we courting and you doing your thing out there, and you got a few dudes that you still probably text and communicate with, and I got a few chicks that I text and I communicate with. Then we might want to keep it on the wraps until we understand that this is something that we both are want to embark upon. This is a journey that we together on. That's when you say, okay, you sit up when you came over Applebee's and over fucking endless breadsticks. You say, yo, like, what are we doing? And I say, yo, I really like you. And you say, I like you too. And then we check the box and we go together. And from this point forward, motherfucker, I'm your man. My point is not those relationships, because the $45,000 relationships, the chick that's with that dude ain't in it for the wrong reasons. She's in it for the right reasons. And he's not able to provide things, so he ain't even in a position to where he can be that nigga. So those are normal relationships. What I'm talking about is the auxiliary income, the girls that are here for the wrong reasons. Now, this is where the ambiguous nature of a relationship comes into play. Because now we need to decide why we're both here. Is it a good time? Is it sex? Is it because I have ancillary income and I can take you on trips and hang out and we just doing it, and you fucking me because you want to go to DR, or you fucking me because you want to go to Brazil for carnival? Like, I don't have to claim you. But if we are in a real relationship where we both have the same internal feelings in regards to how we want to move forward about one another, once we determine that that's what it is, you are on the fucking clock. Period.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Is it a red flag or violation, in your opinion, if a woman live with her man, live with him, but he won't allow her to friend him on Facebook or on social media? He never ever posts about her, but they live in the house, and I guess they're doing the husband and wife thing, but he ain't acknowledging her publicly. But he likes photos of other women. He likes photos of, let me get it out, because we actually had somebody write in, and this is the situation that they're in. They live together. It's a man. He don't claim her publicly. He don't even allow her to friend him on Facebook. Is that a red flag? Or is he just taking it slow? Is yeah, let me get the question out, man. Is he in his right? I'll leave it there. Go ahead, because you got me down.
That's the whole Confederate worth of red flags. That's 50 red flags. And throw in Puerto Rico and goddamn it, the Virgin Islands if you want to. If you live with me and you're not following me on the gram, or you're not following me on Facebook, and we don't take pictures together, but we come home and reside in the same home, 1,100 square feet, and nigga, this nigga is doing him. He don't want you to be seen because he's doing him. That's the number. That's not even a question. I don't want to hear about no fucking taking it slow, or let's just take our time with it, nigga.
So what if he's just like, and I'm playing devil's advocate, he just like, yo, I don't like people in my business. Like I'm a private dude. I don't like people in my business. Period.
I understand that, because the rule of thumb is, if you want to ruin your relationship, make it public.
That's where I'm going. So go ahead.
That's a rule. That's a rule of thumb. But see, that has to be something that is understood amongst the two of y'all. That has to be something that is agreed upon amongst the two of y'all. But y'all still move around and do everything as a couple. Maybe if that's the case, maybe just don't be on social media at all. But you can't, I'm not, nigga, as a man, I'm not accepting no girl saying, if you want your relationship ruined, make it public. But then you out here liking pictures and just showing, because now you're showing disrespect. Now you're showing disrespect. And it goes back to our first segment where we say, a motherfucker only gonna do what they get away with. If this is a relationship, the only preface I could give them, or only preface a girl could give me by saying, make it public, ruin it, is I got haters, I got da-da-da, there's gonna be niggas in your DMs, da-da-da-da-da. If I'm saying I can handle that, then you got to do what you got to do. I can handle that. But what you're not gonna do is communicate with 50,000 motherfuckers liking pictures, sliding in DMs, having conversations, commenting underneath posts and shit, and then act like I'm some motherfucking stranger that's supposed to be sitting in the house watching General Hospital while you out here running a fucking muck. That ain't never gonna happen. So you better show me the same respect you want. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you want to like pictures, nigga, let's sit on the couch and like pictures together, motherfucker. How about that? Let's get on the gram and let's scroll through the fucking explore page and boop, 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 boop together. And let's see how you like it when I do it. Or let's DM niggas together. You DM some bitches, I'm gonna DM some niggas. We're gonna have fun with this shit. But you're not gonna disrespect me and have me sitting in the house acting like I'm the queen of the house or the king of the house, and you out here violating and disrespecting. That's a whole Confederate 50 fucking red flags and the other two people that Trump and them don't like. That's 52 red flags. Ain't no way I'm accepting that. And can't nobody tell me differently. I don't give a shit what y'all say. If motherfuckers doing that, that is a violation and that is disrespect. So to put a nice little bow on this, if your shit is transactional and that's what you choose out of your relationship, then you have no leg to stand on. But if you are in a real relationship and you want your shit to be real and it's not transactional and it's all about love and caring and empathy and sympathy and all those things, emotions, then you have every right to demand what you expect. You just can't demand something that you're not willing to give. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Okay. I hope the young lady who wrote into us is on here tonight.
Yo, if somebody really wrote that to you, bro, she need to get cursed the fuck out.
That's real. I hope she on here tonight. You know, I can't see all these comments.
Hit the thing. What's the shit called? The little camera or whatever. Whoever wrote that, please hit the camera. Please hit the camera.
Yeah, request. Whoever wrote that, you know, the boys club. We not gonna put people on blast, but I would love for you to call in. I would love for you to hit that request button. But here's where I stand with it. If you live with somebody, because I'm gonna go backwards after this. If you done move the nigga in, and you can't so much as follow on a social platform, there is something so wrong right there. There's something, and I'm a private person. I am. I don't believe in putting my business in the street. I don't. But damn, you can't hear me again?
Something you doing, moving, is when you move up or move back.
Okay, I'm as close as I can.
All right, go ahead.
It's still nasty. Damn. I don't know. I'm not doing nothing that I know of. Let me see something. Any better?
Same.
It's just nasty. It's got to be the internet service. It has to be. I'm about to kick myself off this line. Like, I'm breaking the rules. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to fix this. But if you live with somebody, they talking about, yo, you can't follow me, don't like my pictures, this, that, and the third. Something is wrong. They hiding something. So for the young lady who wrote into us, God willing, you're listening, this ain't just a red flag. This is a red siren. This is horns blowing. This is the whole oh, like this is the whole kit and caboodle. He don't want somebody to see you. Period. He don't want somebody to know he living with another woman. Period. So I'm all with keeping your relationship private, but y'all done moved in together. You done took that. It ain't no more privacy. That went out the window when either he moved you in or you moved him in. There's no more privacy. What's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. Period. And to answer the question that we posed earlier, like at what point are you obligated, because that's the key word, obligated, to disclose a relationship? This is a hard one, Rich, but it's when you it gotta be when you're comfortable. You know, that's the best I can say. It gotta be when you are comfortable. And I'm sure they're gonna kill me in these comments, but it gotta be when you are comfortable. Because sometimes it's as simple as, yo, I like to keep my relationship, I like to keep my personal life low. And it's one thing if you are showing everything else about your personal life on the gram. Showing your cars, where you live, how much money you spending, where you was at last night, where you like to eat, all of that. You're showing that. But I just can't show you. That's different. But if your personal life, you don't display it in any area of your life, and you're just like, yo, please respect the fact that I am a private person, then I think she gotta respect the fact that you're a private person. This is not y'all moving in together. And even if we go together, I gotta do that at my pace. And I'm sure somebody's like, yo, this is some BS, but I don't think everybody don't put their personal life on Front Street. They just don't. And you just gotta know who you with.
No, you said no, what you said was real. If in fact you're not a private person, if in fact you are a private person and this social media shit ain't your cup of tea and you don't want to divulge, but everything else is on point. Some people are just not social media people. Just because it's so immensely popular in this world doesn't mean that everybody has to subscribe to being on social media. But if you on this motherfucker liking pictures and DMing and talking to people and communicating with people, that is the ultimate in disrespect. So you can't do that. If you're not a social media person, I gotta respect it. I don't want to be on social media. I'm not photogenic. I don't like to be seen. I don't like how I look in pictures. It could be I got insecurities about myself. It could be one of a million and one things. People come for me when I'm in the gram with you. Bitches is in my DMs calling me all kinds of hoes and shit. I don't need that in my life. I'm living a non-problematic life. I don't want that shit. And leave me out of that shit. But at the same time, if we're in a relationship, you can't tell me to respect that and then at the same time you on social media enjoying life. Like that can't fly. That can't fly. Because now you disrespecting me. Now it's about me. And it's no longer about your privacy. Now it's about why don't you want to be seen with me? It's not about
Correct.
It's about why am I private and nothing else is private. So that's where, and if a dude is hitting you with that, he hit you with the old school. That's not even A1 game. He hit you with the D3 game. He hit you with the SUNY New Pulse game. Like, come on, that ain't the St. John's game. Like this nigga, come on, baby. You letting the nigga tell you that? You letting the nigga tell you anything? Yo, mama, I'm good on the social media, but I'm just gonna go over here and fuck off on Facebook for a minute. Nigga, what? You sound nuts.
All right, let me see if we got any callers. If anybody trying to get in the conversation, please hit that plus button right now, please. Let's see. Okay, so we got no requests. Nobody. It was lit up, but I guess they backed out of it. So we keep the conversation going. If you're trying to get in the conversation, please join it now, or hit that request button, and we'll let you in. Check it, Rich. Matter of fact, okay, now it's lighting up. For anybody trying to get in, please. We don't typically let dudes in this, but we got a few dudes trying to get in the conversation.
Let's hear it, because I know they got a different
last time we had a good dude that came in the conversation.
Yo.
Peace, brother.
Peace. What up, Sean? What's going on, Rich?
What's happening?
What up?
Man, shit, just getting off work, doing what I do, chopping it up, tuning into y'all.
Indeed.
Okay, so you know how this goes. We need to know the name and where you coming in from.
My name's Vince Pass. I'm originally from Brooklyn, but I live out in Cincinnati right now.
Okay, shout to BK, shout to the Midwest, Cincinnati.
Facts. So you know, I'm listening to the conversation, you feel me? And, you know, it's a lot of dynamics that go on in here. You know, we talk about the red flags and everything that keep going up. You feel me? You know, the privacy piece is what I want to touch on. You feel me? I tell all dudes, yo, if you private on social media, if you say that you private, but you got a page up, and you really care about the woman that you say that you with, but you still want to keep your social media up, right? You need to make your page private. And you need to sit her down with your page and let her go through that page with you. Don't hide nothing. You private. And the only people that should be on your page should be your family, close homies you know. That's it. She should know everybody on your page. And the truth is, if it's a real private page, you probably not going to have no more than 50 people on it. Because that's the people that's in your inner circle. You dig? So a lot of times when I be hearing, I be laughing because I be like, yo, dude, this shit ain't private. I be seeing you on IG. What do you mean? You feel me? So, you know, dudes be out here be faking that big game. Like you said, that's a D3 game. Hell, I be thinking, listen, we can go further than that, bro. Like, that shit is straight. That shit is straight tutorial. Pass the ball. Hands should be out. Just pass, your hands should be out. You feel me? But then, you know, the sister, and I want to touch on the sister who gave you the question. First of all, I feel bad for the position that she's in. I feel very bad. Because it shows the level of desperation that she's in right now.
Hold on, Vince. I want you to elaborate on that. You just used a strong word. You said it shows a level of desperation she's in. What does that mean?
What does that mean? It means, let me turn my radio down. What that means is that, you know, when you have sisters that are in relationships, that's the difference between a woman that's willing to submit versus to a woman you have to fight to submit. You dig what I'm saying? So what I mean by that, brother, is that she's looking for somebody to submit to, but she's submitting to anybody. So she's not submitting to a leader. She's submitting to anybody. She's submitting to somebody who's showing fruit, He's not submitting to somebody who's showing this is what he actually does, bringing her around circles that he actually is in, not introducing to family. A man that wants to be with a woman, yo, he knows within 5 minutes of meeting her what he wants to do. You know chicks that you want to lay down. You know chicks that you just want to be friends with. We know that in 5 minutes, especially men that are strong and confident in themselves. You dig what I'm saying? And know who they are. But when you got a woman that's in a place of desperation that just want to be in a relationship, you dig what I'm saying? That's when you can run any type of game on her. You could just throw like, yo, how many licks it takes to get to a Tootsie Roll Pop? And she's like, I don't know. Here, baby, let me show you. You dig what I'm saying? You can run a lollipop game on her. You dig? And so when you got guys out here, there's a lot of men that's doing that. Even my age, I'm 50. You feel me? They acting the worst, like 50 to new 25. Taking sisters through the mud. You feel me? And then they keep going through relationship. So that's what I'm talking about in the place of desperation that some of these sisters be in.
That's real. That's real. Because if you, I feel you on that. Because if you're going to submit and you're going to give yourself to somebody, at least make sure the nigga worthy of it. If the nigga's out here doing you dirty and treating you like trash, he's not worthy of your submission. So why? And it is desperation. It's you are so desperate to be in a relationship that doesn't matter if the relationship is good or not. The fact that you had to pose this question to the boys club tonight is disgusting, because this shit was so self-answered. You did not need nobody to tell you the answer to that question. It was so fucking common sense.
Could I interject on that, Rich? Go ahead, Sean.
Yo, Rich, just for all of us, when one person is talking, everybody else put their joint on mute because the sound be going out on what you call it. So, go ahead, Vic. Me and Richard put ours on mute.
I'm sorry, y'all. I just got in from work and I'm hungry, so I'm trying to snack in between. So, if everybody had common sense, it'd be common. Everyone to have it. There were some things in the process in which she probably was learning growing up she missed. Who's to say that she's not a victim of abuse? Who's to say that she's not a victim of the mental abuse, the physical? Who's to say that the carousel that she keeps going on, right, is not what's been programmed in her because of the repeat cycle that she could be going through? Who's to say that she just met a nigga that was just so good in bed that she's just stigmatized? Like, there's more layers to it. You feel what I'm saying? And Rich, to us as men, because I'm like, sure, I got daughters. Because we are men, we can recognize that. Like, you got to understand, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So we speak two different languages. A lot of times when men are speaking, women, if you notice that sometimes women be amped up and emotional, we be sitting there like, no, why you getting upset? What's going on? Be easy. I'm just explaining that. Then your chick could be explaining something to you. You looking at her like, what the fuck are you talking about? You feel what I'm saying? At that point, you like, hold on. Let me call my sister. She said this, and this. So now the interpretation comes in. You got a female who you know. Now listen, my girl said X, Y, Z. What does that mean? This is what she mean, Rich. Boom, 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 boom. If the chick had a girl, a dude or a brother or a pops, you listen. My man said this is what he's saying. Sometimes you have got to have someone to interpret certain things to you. We don't know everything. And relationships are like marriage. It's fickle. So that's my take on that.
Okay, can you guys hear me or my sound still crazy? Okay, good. You know, first off, Vince, thanks for coming on and representing men properly. You're well spoken. A lot of times we let men into the conversation and they just embarrass us. But with that being said, you touched on something, and it's the exact reason to the T why Rich and I do what we do week over week. Men are from Mars and women really are from Venus. Like we try to figure out a way to communicate and understand each other, but men move a certain way. And for us, and I'm not even talking about the bad side, right? Just the way we move, the way we think. For us, we get it. It makes total sense why I said what I said, why I reacted the way I reacted, why I did what I did. And women, it's the same thing on their part. But for us, we looking at them like they got 10 heads. We like, yo, like, it just don't even make sense. So Rich and I started this show just to help women understand, because there are women who are looking for a man, and there are women who are in relationships, and they just don't understand, why do this dude move the way he moves? And this is the exact reason why we started to do this show, just to have real talk, because one of the biggest problems I see with women is when they don't understand men, they go to other women. And it is the worst thing you can do. It is the worst thing you can do. Because a girl, she going through her own problems with her man, and she just telling you her perspective. And she don't understand why. She has no more clue than you do why your man is acting the way he acts. So the reason why we started this show was just to help come from people like myself, Rich, Vince. Yo, number one, you're not crazy. We don't speak the same language. So let us help you understand why we move the way that we move. Because sometimes it's innocent. It really is. Sometimes we do stuff and it is not done with ill intent. Sometimes we do stuff and it is deliberate, and we are trying our best to just be the dogs that we were born to be. So hopefully women understand why we do this. But Vince, thanks for calling in, brother.
I appreciate y'all, man. Definitely. You know what I mean? I watch y'all a lot. I hear a lot of the topics you guys talk about. Very informative. And you're right. The thing that is definitely that needs to happen, we need to have better communication. True. Here's another piece I want to leave with you guys. That communication falls along several lines, right? You got verbal, you got nonverbal, right? They always say that 90% of communication is nonverbal, which is true. You can tell by somebody's whole body language when something is off, when they don't feel like doing anything, or they displeased with something that you say and do. A lot of times, people rely on that 90% because they think that is the best way to communicate their thought and their idea of what is taking place at that moment in that 90%. People believe that more is less. Well, this 90% is saying it all. Actually, that 90% is really saying less, because all you're doing is giving me body language and facial expressions. I need words to go with this, but I need your words to match what you're trying to get me to understand. You feel what you're trying to get me to understand? You guys have a platform that could bridge a big gap between the communications that men and women have. I love you guys. I've been a follower you guys for a long time, especially you, Rich, on your television stuff. Perez, I know you've been in the music industry for a long time. You dig what I'm saying? And you know, I've come across you a lot, just in small circles. But I just want to tell you, I keep doing what y'all doing, man. You dig? And I would love to, if possible. I don't mean to throw my shameless plug on here. I would love to get both of you on my show at one time, if it's possible. And I'll leave it in y'all DM. And if y'all do, y'all do. Y'all don't, y'all don't. But I will definitely be back on y'all show to talk things to y'all, man. I appreciate it.
Yo, I appreciate the words. Put your thing on mute, Vince. I appreciate the words, number one. I'm easygoing. So I would, I tell you publicly, I'll do your show, but you got to convince Hollywood at the side of you to do the show. But before we do your show, we got to do I Am Joe Paul's show, who is such a big supporter. And Rich has been so Hollywood. I'm gonna just keep putting them on blast till we. So when we knock out Joe Paul's show, you next, Vince. But I'm easy going. I'll do it. All right, peace and love, Vince. Let me go to the next caller.
Shout out Gabby Wright, told me how to get my the comments because my comments freeze. So I couldn't read them, so I had to read them. I'm trying to read them off my iPad. But all you got is she told me what to do. So shout out to Gabby.
Okay, who we got?
Hey y'all.
What up, Ashley?
Ain't nothing. Working. How y'all doing?
We good. I'm gonna put you on mute because this sound been off all night.
My sound. My sound is off.
No, my sound like the whole sound been off all night. So when one person is talking, we gotta put the other person gotta go on mute.
Oh, because the sound is messed up.
But I hear
Okay.
you just fine. I hear you just fine. And I don't know
Okay.
where Rich at, but he'll come back into the show. Hold on a second. Let me let Rich back in. I'll let you back in the show. But now that's me going. That's me down back in. Down, yo, Rich, we damn near 2 hours already. Okay, so we'll wait for SB to come back. Okay, how's my sound? How's my sound, Rich?
Still messed up.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Put your joint on mute for a second. Let's see if that works. Okay, test 1 2. Test 1 2. Any better? All right, just take it off mute.
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine. It just sounds like you talking into a speakerphone as opposed to a microphone. You understand?
I understand. It's nasty. I don't know what to do. We had 2 hours. Do you want to keep it? Do you want to keep the show going, or do you want to shut it down? Because we had the 2 hours.
It's up to you.
It's up to you.
Shit. The sound is annoying me, so.
All right, we'll shut it down. SB calling next week. I don't know what happened.
All right. It is what it is. Yo, thank y'all for, we did it again. 2 hours, 7:30 to 9:30. We rock out every single Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern time. Tune in, tell a friend to tell a friend. We building, man. It's a good conversation every single Wednesday. It's a great conversation, so.
Okay, it's crazy because I'm looking at these comments as much as I can read. People actually said they can hear me, but if you can't hear me, then it ain't worth it.
I hear you fine.
Yeah, I know, but it ain't worth doing if the sound is. Just know, everybody, tomorrow this show will be up on YouTube. It will be up on all the streaming platforms out there. So just catch it tomorrow. And please continue to tell your friends about what we're doing. God willing, next week the sound will be better. All right, Rich, we're in it there.
Keep your
I love you.